Hello and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm setting up my bullet journal for May, and I really wanted to continue with some bright, vibrant colors also this month. So my theme for the month is going to be oranges. So for my color palette I chose some different orange shades and also a bit of pink. And then instead of doing just regular green leaves, I decided to use the complementary color of orange, which is blue. And I think this color combination works really well with the light pink shades as well. So for the cover page, I first wrote the header using my alphabet stamps, and then I drew some orange circles all around the page, and I also colored them in using the same orange color. Then I used a black Muji gel pen to draw an outline to the oranges, and I also drew some stems. And to these stems, I then started drawing the blue leaves. And since the leaves are really simple, I try to add some more interest by coloring in only some of the leaves. I added some shadows to the oranges using that same orange pen on top of the first layer, and then I filled the empty spaces between the oranges by drawing more leaves and also some simple small flowers. Finally, I added some details to the center of the flowers, and for the oranges I drew just a few dots to that darker part, and then to draw everything together I drew some vertical lines to the background with the light peach colored marker. The next page is going to be my calendar page, which also includes my monthly goals and some planning sections. So I started this page with the header, and then under it I drew my monthly calendar using the peachy marker again. Lately I've been loving the bigger version of my calendar, so that's what I'm doing this month as well. So each box is 4x4 dot grid spaces, and I place the calendar so that Mondays and Tuesdays are on the left page and the rest of the days are on the right page. And if you don't like how the calendar is split in the middle, you can keep the height of the calendar but reduce the width of each box by 1, and then you'll be able to fit the calendar on one page. Above the calendar I drew 7 orange circles and then used the alphabet stamps for the days, and then I decided to turn these circles into oranges, so I drew the outline around them and then drew the stems, leaves and some flowers all around. I used the gel pen for the number of the days, and then I started creating my weekly planning section to the left side of this calendar. I wanted to separate this section from the calendar a bit better, so I used the orange marker for the outlines and the peach colored marker for the background of the week numbers. Underneath I created my goals section, so I wrote the header first and then added a couple of orange doodles and leaves around it. Under the header I just drew 6 lines for my goals with that peachy marker, And then finally to the bottom of the right page, I created a small section for this month's and next month's tasks. I left a bit of space between the boxes to add a few more orange doodles. We are moving on to my tracker spread, and the first tracker is for my daily habits. And last month I decided to only track 4 habits instead of my usual 6 habits, because I was feeling a bit overwhelmed with all the things I was supposed to do daily, and I think it was helpful to focus on fewer things. So I decided to continue with the same 4 habits this month as well. So underneath the header that I wrote using my simple cursive handwriting, I drew 4 lines for the backgrounds of the headers, and then under each line I drew a box that is 7 dot grid spaces wide and 6 dot grid spaces tall. And the first row of the box is for the days of the week, which I wrote with that beige gel pen again. Then I crossed out the days from April and June and wrote the habits, which are again eating healthy, planning in my bullet journal in the evening, doing chores, and checking my expenses. I placed the 4 trackers in the center horizontally so that I could draw some more oranges on both sides of the trackers. Underneath the daily habits, I have my weekly habits. So I also chose 4 weekly habits that I'm tracking. And we are finally entering the gardening season. So I want to be doing some gardening every week, doing a little budget check, working out, and also doing a weekly reset. On the next page, I created my expense tracker. And if you have seen my previous videos, you already know that I always have this same layout, just because with this layout I'm able to fit as many expenses as it is possible to fit on this one page. So I have 2 columns for the expense descriptions and also for the dates and amounts. I used my alphabet stamps on the header, and I also did a couple of orange doodles on both sides. The last spread of this setup is of course my first weekly spread for May, and since the month starts on a Wednesday, I only included the first 5 days on this spread. I started by dividing the page into 8 sections. So first I drew 6 boxes so that there is 1 for each of the days, and then the extra box on the bottom right corner is for my weekly tasks. Each box is 12 dot grid spaces tall and 10 dot grid spaces wide, and I also have 2 spaces in between the boxes. The empty spaces where I didn't draw a box are for the header and some orange doodles. And as you can see, I also left this like an empty margin around this whole spread, and there really is no other reason for that other than I just thought it would look nice. For the 2 decoration boxes, I drew as on the cover page, so I drew some oranges, leaves, and flowers, and then I drew the vertical lines using the light peach colored marker. for the daily sections, I drew orange circles as a background for the numbers of the days, and then I wrote the days using a really simple font. Finally, I wanted to make the weekly habits box stand out a bit better from the rest of the boxes, so I decided to draw a grid inside that box. And that finishes off my May bullet journal setup. I really love the color palette, and I think the theme is perfect for a month when you need a quick but still cute setup, and you can easily reduce the amount of doodles if you wanted to. I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!